Today we will be working out of Module 4, Lesson 15. We're going to read and write expressions where letters stand for numbers. Last week we worked with several statements that we would translate into expressions. Today we're going to do a little bit of that, but we're also going to be writing the word sentences that go with a given expression. During the video today, please make sure you watch it all. There will be 3 problems hidden within this lesson that I won't be completing on the video that I'm going to ask that you complete and turn in at the end of class. This will be your participation grade for the class today. So please watch the entire video, pause it when you need to, rewind if you need to, and try to get a really good understanding of how this works. So if you turn in your workbooks to Lesson 15, you will see the opening exercise. We have a chart here, a graphic organizer, and what we're going to do is we're going to complete this organizer with mathematical words that indicate each operation. We've discussed these in the past. There's some references hanging up in the classroom that give you an idea of what words would indicate each of the operations. And on our chart here, not only is there the 4 operations, but they've also added exponents. So there's some keywords that would indicate exponents as well. I want you to fill out this chart the best you can. Under each of the operations, list as many words as you can, mathematical words, that would indicate the operation. Once you've done as many as you can on your own, come back to the video and go ahead and complete your chart with any from my list that you didn't have added. My list isn't 100% complete. There are, it's a good start. Obviously, we're not going to be able to list every single word possible for each operation, but we're going to get a good reference list for you to use later in the lesson. So, pause the video, make your own list as best you can, and when you've finished, go ahead and come back to the video, and I'll share my list with you. Okay. So, for addition, hopefully you had most of these words on your list, but if not, pause the video when you need to and complete your list. For addition, there are words such as sum, add, more than, total, altogether, in all, increased by, and plus. For subtraction, difference, subtract, fewer than, minus, less than, how many more, left, and decreased by. Moving on to multiplication, we can use product, multiply, times, every, double, triple, of, as much, each. Some key vocabulary words for division would be quotient, divide, each, per, and split. And finally, for exponents, you can use or you might see the words power, squared, or cubed to indicate those operations. So again, pause the video if you need to add any of my words to your list. That way you have a good complete reference sheet to use later in this lesson. Alright, now that you've got your reference list, let's get into the lesson. Example 1 asks us to write an expression using words. So as you can see here, they've given us an expression, and we've got 2 variables and 1 operation for part A. That operation is subtraction. So, there's going to be more than one way to write all of these expressions today. You choose the one that you like the best. It doesn't always have to match the one that I'm going to use in the examples. So, we have A minus B. We know it's subtraction. Again, refer to your reference list. That's why we made this. The subtraction words. You can use any of these words that make sense to you. I'm going to use the word, I'm just going to use subtract. I'm just going to keep it simple. You can just say, or you can say A subtract B. If you like to just use the word minus, you can write A minus B. You could say B less than A. Several different ways you can write this. Any of them will be correct. You do not have to write them all. I'll write this one over here. B less than A. That one's kind of a tricky one. That's the one that we were getting confused on last week. So, you choose. Okay, example B. We have XY. And from our lessons last week, you should remember that this just means x times y. So we have multiplication going on in this expression. Again, you can keep it super simple and just write x times y. You could also pull out your reference list. You could look at all the multiplication words, product, multiply, times, every, double, and so on. You could say the product of x and y. So, two different examples for how you can actually write the expression xy. Okay, the next one, C. We have an expression 4f plus p. Now this one is a little bit different because not only do we have one operation, we have multiplication here. We also have addition. So we're going to have to write a statement, write this expression using words with two operations this time. So again, let's try to keep it simple. We know that P is being added to a product of 4 times F. We can simply just write that. P added to the product of 4 and F. And again, the word product came right from the multiplication, and the word add, when I said P added to, the word add came from the addition. If that doesn't make sense to you, you can make it a little more simpler. 4 times F plus P. All right. Again, do what makes sense to you. Okay, the next one, part D, says D minus b to the third power. I'm going to circle this one. This is one I'm going to have you do on your own and submit to me at the end of the lesson. This will be your participation. So go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to write the expression using words, d minus b to the third power. I want you to write that one. Again, use your reference sheet if you need to. Pay attention to what operations are happening in the expression. Go ahead and pause the video now. Okay. Part E. We have 5 parentheses u minus 10 plus h. Wow, we've got a lot going on here. We know we have multiplication here. 5 next to the parenthesis. Don't forget, a number next to the parenthesis means to multiply. We've got subtraction within the parenthesis, and we've got addition after the parentheses. So we've got 3 operations here. So again, keep it simple. We could say 5 times the quantity. When you say 5 times the quantity, when you say the quantity, that indicates there's a parenthesis within that expression. So 5 times the quantity of, now we're getting ready to tell the reader, whoever's reading your statement, what's inside that parenthesis. 5 times the quantity of, we can keep it simple, u minus 10 added to k. You could also put 5 times the quantity of u minus 10 plus k. You could keep it real simple. Just keep in mind, the quantity of tells you you're getting ready to have a parenthesis within your expression. All right, part F. So in part F, we have, as we learned yesterday, that fraction line actually means division in an algebraic expression. So we have division, and then obviously we've got some addition between variables in the denominator. So again, refer to your list if you need some words to use. I might say 3 divided by the sum of D and F. So my math vocabulary here, divided by and sum. This tells us we've got some division and some addition. Okay. Moving on to the exercise. All right, so the directions for the exercises tell us to circle all the vocabulary words that could be used to describe the given expression. So here, they're giving us an expression, 6h minus 10, and they want to know what operations are happening here. What could be used to describe them? So again, just like we did in the examples above, first we determined what operations were within the expression before we wrote our sentence. They're asking you to do the same thing here. Circle the vocab words that could be used to describe these expressions. So 6h minus 10. We have subtraction. We can clearly see that one. And 6h means multiplication. Number 2, 5d over 6. And you should know this from the lesson yesterday as well. Again, when we have this fraction line, we know it's division. Well, I don't see the word division down here. Which one of my words here indicates division? Back on the list we made at the very beginning of the lesson, I see quotient is a word that indicates division. So this word would fit. Product means to multiply. Do we have multiplication? Oh, there it is in the numerator. 5d means to multiply. Product is a vocab for multiplication. Difference fits into the subtraction column. I don't have any subtraction. Sum fits into the addition words, and there's no addition. So we're done. Number 3. 5 parenthesis 2 plus d minus 8. I want you to do this one on your own. I'm going to circle number 3. This is going to be another one I'm going to collect at the end of the lesson for grade. So go ahead and circle the word or multiple words that goes along with this expression. Go ahead and pause the video and complete this problem on your own. All right. Number 4, ABC. We know that means A times B times C. More than is a word that fit under our addition column, and there's no addition. Less than falls onto our subtraction, and there's no subtraction. The word times fits under the multiplication. Yep, we're multiplying. And the word each went under division. No division in this problem, so the only word that can fit will be times. That indicates multiplication. Okay, for the last section of our lesson, we've got about 6 problems here. Write an expression using vocabulary to represent each given expression. So this is just going to be a little bit more practice doing what we've been doing this lesson. First, we've got 8 minus 2g. Your first step, determine what operations we've got here. We have subtraction, and we have 2g is the same as saying 2 times g. We have multiplication. We want to write this using our vocabulary. So back to the graphic organizer you created and choose the words for subtraction and multiplication that you want to use. I'm going to choose to write, 8, not 9, I don't know where I got 8. 8 minus, there's my subtraction word, 8 minus the product of, that's my multiplication, 2 and G. You could also write 2 times G subtracted from 8, or you could say 8 decreased by G doubled. I mean, you could get creative if you want. My recommendation, keep it simple. Alrighty, number 6. 15 parenthesis A plus C. So again, we've got 2 operations. The 15 next to the parenthesis means we're multiplying, and clearly within the parentheses we have some addition. So again, let's keep this simple. 15 times, that times is my multiplication vocab, the quantity of, don't forget, quantity of tells us we've got these parentheses in here. Clearly tells the reader or the student that you have parentheses. A plus C. Again, keep it simple. Number 7, we have M plus N over 5. We've got some addition. That fraction line tells us division. So pick out some of your vocab words from your graphic organizer. So this one's a little bit tricky. So you've got to tell the reader that M plus N is in the numerator and the 5 by itself is in the denominator. So we've got to really be careful how we write this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip on this one. So for addition, I'm going to choose to use sum. The sum of M and N, that tells us add M and N. I'm going to put a comma in here. When you put a comma in your statement for an expression, you know there's going to be another operation happening. It kind of is a really good separation there between our operations. So the sum of M and N, comma, divided by 5. When we have that divided by, we know there's going to be a fraction bar. So that comma is a really good separator. The numerator's over here, the denominator's on the other side of the comma. You could also say the quotient of the total of M and N and 5. You could say M plus N split into 5 equal groups. In my opinion, this is probably the simplest way to write this one. All right. Number 8. This is another one. I've circled it. This is one I want you to do on your own and turn it in at the end of class. So pause the video and go ahead and write your expression using some math vocabulary. All right, number 9. F minus D over 2. So we've got subtraction, and that fraction is division. Subtraction and division. Let's pick some vocab words. Keeping it simple, I'm going to say F minus, you could say F minus the quantity D divided by 2 if you want to. I'm going to say F minus the quotient. I'm going to use that word. We haven't used that one. F minus the quotient of D and 2. And we know from our practice in the previous lessons, when you have the quotient of D and 2, it means D divided by 2. All right, last one. U over X. We can make this one super simple. We know that fraction is division. I'm going to keep it super simple. U divided by X. Alright, the last thing I'm going to have you turn in on the paper that I'm collecting for your participation is this. I have someone that has the expression 11 minus 3c. And somebody tells me that the expression is 3 times c decreased by 11. Somebody has told me that this numerical expression is the same as this written expression. Are they correct? Is this correct? And then I want you to answer why or why not. This would have been a discussion question if I was in class today. So, on your paper, you have 3 problems from the lesson that I've asked you to complete on your own. You had part D in example 1 to write a statement for. You had number 4 in the exercises to circle the words that matched, that could be used to describe this expression. And then you had number 8 in the exercises that I wanted you to write an expression using vocabulary. So you have these 3 from the lesson. And then I also want you to answer the question, is this correct? Why or why not? Those 4 things are due to me at the end of this lesson. Once you have that complete, you can take it up to the substitute and collect your exit ticket. Please complete your exit ticket. Once you have that completed, you can work on your homework. Your assignment for this lesson is lesson 15, problem set. And you can complete, there's only 2 problems. Each problem has, number 1 has parts A, B, and C. Number 2 has parts A, B, C, D. Go ahead and complete the whole problem set. All right, have a great rest of your day.